Welcome back to the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre at the University of Loughborough. It is finals day in week one of the UK Pro League. We had so much drama yesterday, more of the same already today. So far we have seen Jack Findle-Hawkins come through, 7-6, 6-1. It was tighter in that second set than the scoreline might suggest against George Houghton. That meant fifth place for Jack and sixth for George. And just a few moments ago, Freya Christie gained revenge against Alicia Barnett, having lost a very tight match to her in the group stage. This time she came through in a match tie-break to secure third place. Of course, we've got the two singles finals to come a little later. But next up, it's the battle for third and fourth in the men's singles. And this should be a fascinating battle. We've got a really hard hitter, as we saw last night, and we've got a wonderfully talented individual who is desperate to make up for what he considers to be a very disappointing performance yesterday. So, once again, looking over my shoulder, a little gap in the black curtain, and here comes the first of the players. The powerful Anton Matusevich, 19 years of age. He lost to Billy Harris in a very tight semi-final yesterday. He's from Kent. He's currently ranked at 570. He had 4 wins from 5 in his group. He is a former US Open junior doubles winner, a monster forehand, also a classically trained pianist. He loves chess and computer programming. He's fluent in Russian, and he is the top ranked player this week. He's had his dad, Anton Sr., to offer him support. He's also being watched closely by top British coach Mark Hilton. And his opponent today is Dan Cox, who has somewhat cruelly been called the old man of the event. I mean, he's 30 years of age. He's not exactly old, but he's come back in absolute style. He was a very talented junior. He reached the final in Tarbes. He rose to 206 in the world rankings in 2014 before drifting out of the sport. He then returned in style at the Pro Series last year. He eventually finished 4th. He was narrowly beaten by James Ward. He's a big Manchester United fan. He is frustrated at the way he played in his semi-final yesterday, having looked nigh on unstoppable in his group matches. So is his week going to end on a high? Gigi is going to join me, and she's going to answer that question. What is your hunch as to how this one's going to pan out?
Paul, Barry and Jenny have come into the commentary box and said he just threw that at us. Who's going to come out? And normally you've got one of the players standing quite close beside you. I do have a feeling that it's intriguing. There's 11 years between these two, very different stages of their career. We've got the story of Dan, became disillusioned with the sport, retired in 2017, and then during lockdown last year, found that passion again. His wife said, pick up a racket and get out there. Then you've got Anton Matusevich, this fireball of power, just 19 years of age, part of the LTA scholarship program. So very different players. Who got the speedster in Dan Cox. I'm not going to call him the old man, I'm going to call him the speedster.
Well, you were calling him the old man all day yesterday.
Oh, so you're pinning that on me?
Well, basically I am. It's never my fault.
Look, it's going to be fascinating. We've seen a couple of times with Matusevich that he's got distracted and he's lost focus. We know he's got the game, still very young at 19. But Dan Cox, I saw how upset he was when he lost his last match, just throwing things into the bag afterwards. I think he might get the better of Matusevich this afternoon.
Well, it is going to be another wonderful clash of styles, and we've seen a bit of that already today with Jack Findle-Hawkins, who loved to come forward, and George Houghton from the baseline. They served up a rare old battle. It's interesting with Matusevich because he's so talented. There are suggestions that when things start to go wrong on court, he maybe shuts down a little bit. Do you think that's an area of his game he will look to improve? He's still only 19 years of age, of course.
I think that's the key thing. I know we're joking about Dan Cox being old at 30, but 19 is still really young in terms of his development. Now he's had a taste of what's to come, being part of this scholarship program. He has a clothing sponsor. He's taken on the Hungarian Marton Fucsovics in an exhibition match. He's a Grand Slam winner at junior level. But with all that comes expectation. But there's still a lot that he has to do to develop the game. He can mutter to himself. He can mutter out loud. He can get very frustrated. I think this match will be very intense. You've got two very intense characters on the court.
Yeah, and if he does mutter out loud, it will probably be in Russian. How is your Russian?
Not very good. How's yours?
No, well, I'll assume if he's muttering out loud that the Russian is the sort of Russian that we shouldn't know. The other question I want to ask you, we mentioned this before the women's third place playoff. It's an unusual situation because Usually, if you lose in the semi-finals, you go home and you kick whatever you want to kick. But you've got to come back out here today. But as we saw with Freya and Alicia, they were still really pumped up to get the extra prize money and the points, which of course could be so important at the end of the year.
And we talked about getting one up on your peers. They know each other in their games so well, but they do want these points and these prizes. We're aiming towards finals week in November. Third place, that's 2 points more than second. It's a little bit of extra money. They've come this far. This is the 7th match in 7 days. And I think what we've said from the start is every match means something that is being played on every day of every week of the UK Pro League.
Okay, so Gigi's just leaning towards the man behind you.
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're going to find out in the company of Jenny Drummond and Barry Cowan.
Well, welcome along to this fourth playoff match between Anton Matusevich and Dan Cox. Battle of the ages, really. Matusevich is 19 years old, up against Dan Cox, age 30. Joining me, Jenny Drummond, in the commentary box, former British Davis Cup player Barry Cowan. Now, Barry, both of these guys topped their groups, but were pipped to the post yesterday in their semi-finals. How do you think they're going to come back today?
Yeah, good afternoon, Jenny. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, Dan was very disappointed yesterday. He said he just could not understand why and how he was serving as poorly as he was serving. It just affected the rest of his game, which can often happen. I saw Cam Norrie, the same thing, earlier this week, playing Hachinov in Rotterdam. And actually started pretty well, but then lost rhythm on the serve and never regained it. So I think that will be the key for Cox. I think for Matusevich, I think what is so crucial was I was surprised how quickly he fell away in the match tiebreak, Jenny. And I think that would be sort of the main emphasis. And, you know, sometimes we talk about technique and tactics, but mind is so important.
Yeah, the mind is huge indeed. A reminder of that semi-final result for Anton Matusevich against Billy Harris, who is a bit of a Pro League stalwart. It was Matusevich who won the first set.
30
came
seconds.
back in the second, and it was 10-4 in the championship tiebreak. But Billy Harris raced out to a lead there, and Matusevich unable to come back. And then Dan Cox as well, losing to Josh Paris in straight sets, who has played some great tennis this week as well. That final between Josh Paris and Billy Harris last here. It will round off the week's play of the UK Pro League. Of course, before that, the women's final, Beth Gray up against Emily Appleton. But these two guys, highly competitive guys, really intense players. They've played once before, last year on the Pro Series, and it went down to the wire. It was Matusevich who came through that in the championship tiebreak. And you mentioned there, Barry, Dan Cox's serving performance yesterday. How crucial is the serve for Matusevich? I mean, because he does serve a few rockets. Yeah,
well, serve is important, whatever type of player you are, whether you're a big server or whether you're someone who relies on the ground shots, because if you are able to make a lot of first serves, then you feel that the rest of the game can flow.
So this match, both guys playing for third place of UK Pro League Week 1. Both narrowly lost in the semi-finals yesterday. To come back today, pull their socks up.
First set.
Play one more match.
Dan Cox to serve. Ready, play. $15 love.
How different is it in terms of coming back the next day? Normally, if you've suffered a loss, especially on a semi-final stage, your tournament's done.
Yeah, third and fourth is a bit of a nightmare in terms of your mindset, because you've got the lows of losing in the semi-final. You've got to pick yourself up, but there's still plenty to play for, and that's what I'm sure both players have been stressing to themselves. Let's say, for instance, Dan Cox, and he misses out at the end of the year by 1 point.
Could be crucial, because the winner of this match will take 12 points. The loser will take 10. And you mentioned 1 point there. Josh Paris missed out qualifying for Classic Week last year by 1 point, and the money pretty much doubles, trebles.
Right, please.
And third place will take home £2,500 plus their £500 appearance fee. And fourth place, £2,000. So definitely quite a bit of money at stake. Not just money, but ego too.
Yeah.
30 all.
Well, after a positive week, you know, and I went the weekend having lost 2 in a row. And it's like any level of sport, don't get complacent, because then you get on a bad run. Sometimes it can be tough to stop. It's just been a case of putting the ball in court if you're Matusevich.
Well, immediately a breakpoint opportunity for the 19-year-old.
Game.
And there is the opening break for Anton Matusevich. Perfect start for him.
First game.
Dan Cox with a few things to think about here.
Ouch. Oh, that is not the way he would have wanted to play those last couple of games. Excuse me, last couple of points. Just such an indifferent beginning from Cox.
He's normally such an intense player. Both guys are, to be fair. 19-year-old Anton Matusevich, ranked 570. Was ranked as high as number 12 in the junior circuit. Quarter-finalist of Junior Wimbledon twice. In 2019 beat the world number 1 en route to that quarter-final, Holger Rune.
He was quite vocal, should we say, about what he thought of Holger Rune.
He's actually just made his debut on the ATP Tour.
30 love.
I spent some time with Holger Rune at an exhibition event in south of France at Ultimate Tennis Showdown last year. He got the opportunity to play against some of the world's top players and had a great attitude, was so hard-working, really humble.
Yeah, in his own words, when he said a couple of years ago, he's one of the strongest guys in the draw. However, he has no life. He just plays tennis every day. He's got nothing in his life apart from tennis. my views on that. Well,
Matusevich.
it's how you want to see it. How you
Matusevich
want.
leads by 2
Is it
games
all
to
tennis, or some there've been successful people that have been just tennis, and there's also been very successful tennis players who focus tennis, but also are able to let their mind go elsewhere when they're not on the tennis court.
As far as I'm aware, Holger Rune's a real big family guy, so that's how he relaxes, spends some time with his sister and his parents. Hold there from Matusevich to go to love. But we know that
15 love.
Matusevich has a few other hobbies.
Which is great. You know, it's
It's what works for him.
exactly.
He's a classically trained pianist, actually. Super smart as well. He's doing an online degree at UCL in economics
love.
and statistics. And also Dan Cox's story, he's spoken about how important it was for him to have some time away from the game, get some other interests in life too. That one's got to sting a little bit.
30-15.
It's been a bit of a slow start for Dan Cox right here, Barry.
Yeah, just got enough height on the lob, did Matusevich. I think so far he's playing the right way. Just the execution as things stand, not working for the older of the two players.
A wry smile
30 all.
on the face of Dan Cox, just hooking that one. Steadies himself.
40-30.
This is where experience can help. Just because you're down in the scoreline doesn't mean all is bad in your end of the court.
Use.
11 years between the two. Such an interesting story that Dan Cox has. Until the Pro Series last year, hadn't played much since Wimbledon qualies in 2017. Has played main draw of Wimbledon twice, 2011, 2014. Unofficially retired, and then in lockdown got a spinning bike, hopped on it, got fit. His wife said, "Do you fancy picking up a racket again?" And so he did. Got involved in the Pro Series last year, came 7th in week 3, won week 5, qualified for Classic Week. Just missed out to James Ward in the 3rd place playoff. And it's playing unranked at the moment, but
Use.
having said that, he won all of his group matches and is doing his best to get back to what was an incredible ranking of 206 in 2014.
Yeah, it's a great achievement. Get as high as that. Traveling the tour, playing futures challenges.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this has been a smart beginning from Matusevich. He just doesn't need to overplay.
It just seems that
Advantage
Cox is just
Matusevich.
misfiring, hasn't quite got his timing right. A few unforced errors. It's quite unlike him.
Yeah.
So a breakpoint chance for a little break. Oh,
Game.
what a
Matusevich.
way to break once again in this opening set. What a start from
Matusevich
19-year-old
leads
Anton
by 3 games
Matusevich.
to love.
He leads by 3 games to love. So the UK Pro League 2021. This is date 7. Anton Matusevich has his nose out in front with a double break. His 3rd, 4th playoff match.
Love 15.
Keep your discipline. You've done the hard work in terms of just playing solid tennis. As and when Cox starts to play better, then maybe Matusevich might have to be a little bit more proactive. But at the moment, this is
Love 30.
that's why it's so important. It's the mindset. Don't lose your focus. And I felt that was apparent yesterday. That was the difference between the two, with Billy Harris and Matusevich.
15-30.
It's actually happened a couple of times this week. Matusevich has been serving for a set and has lost his service game to love. Granted, he is only 19 years old. Oof.
They got away with one there. That wasn't
30 all.
the greatest volleys. Yeah, going back to any time a player loses their serving for a set on a match, that can happen. But it's kind of going into should not happen, losing it to love.
That's more aggressive from Dan Cox.
30-40.
That's his best point, I think, of the match. And now maybe this is the time Matusevich just needs to step up. Maybe you bring that forehand more attacking play.
Oh, it was bold play.
Well, it was. And
Use.
in the end, fantastic play.
Does like to take some risks, does Matusevich, and that one certainly paid off. Saved a break point.
Advantage Matusevich. Game, Matusevich.
Matusevich gets another
Matusevich
hold,
leads by
saves a
4
break
games to
point,
love.
and is quickly rocketed to a 4-love lead.
A lovely position to be in when Probably say 6 out of 10 tennis. That's all it needed to be.
I think he'd be a little bit surprised if you told him coming into this match that he would lead Dan Cox 4-love.
Love 15. All.
And Cox, I'm sure, happy to take that point in this game. Not a lot going his way at the moment.
Sometimes when you're in this position as a player, it's just about laying a few foundations for the start of the next set.
Energy-wise too.
Mm-hmm.
$30, $50.
Matusevich
40,
likes to
15.
chat to himself in a match, and it's begun in Russian this time.
Yeah, that was the start of when things changed yesterday. And he started to talk a lot in Russian in the middle of the second set, when actually they had some really intense games.
Game, Cox.
Well, Dan Cox is on the board. He manages
Matusevich
to
leads
hold,
by
but it's
4 games to
Matusevich who
1.
leads by 4 games to 1. Third match of the day here on Court 1 of the UK Pro League. Jack Findle-Hawkins earlier on today secured his 5th place position over his win against George Houghton. Freya Christie third in the women's, beating Alicia Barnett. And now the men's third-fourth playoff currently in
15
action
love.
between Anton Matusevich and Dan Cox. And it's Matusevich who's got off to a much quicker start, leading by a double break. A big rally there, and so often in tennis we see 1 point can be a turning point.
15.
That for Dan Cox was a pretty positive one. Still 2 matches to come today, of course, both the women's and men's singles finals.
easy.
30-15.
That's when he's at his best. Matusevich using that forehand.
Nice depth.
Just
40-15.
a ton of errors. And the player that Dan Cox is, you just can't afford to give that many gifts.
Thirty.
When your opponent is throwing in quite a few errors, it can sometimes be difficult to find your own rhythm, though.
Absolutely. Good point. Because basically this set has been all about Matusevich putting the ball in court. But you then have, which is the right thing to do if your opponent's missing. But when and if Cox starts to play better, then what worked in the opening 6 games might not work further down the road. So that's where you need to be smart in terms of your match play to make the necessary adjustments. But at the moment, just continue to do what he's doing.
Love 15.
Well, this set just seems to be spiralling away from Dan Cox. Trailing 1-5. An uncharacteristic double fault to start that service game too. It was a serve that let him down yesterday. Is that going to be at the forefront of his mind right now? It was a pretty decent return from Matusevich to get that serve back, but an absolute rocket from Cox.
Maybe Cox is affected by what Matusevich is wearing.
Got your sunnies on there, Barry.
Oh.
To be fair, Cox isn't too dissimilar in his outfit choice.
Shoes are something, aren't they?
You're wearing some bright red.
That's more than just bright red, those shoes.
Net for serve.
It's every colour possible.
We talked about the concentration for Matusevich, and here just has to make every single ball, trying to change it up there with the slice down the line.
He's actually served a lot better today. That hasn't been an issue at all, Cox. That was his first ace, but you know, a lot higher percentage of first serves. I think the first set yesterday he was around 40%. Mid-60s today.
Net for serve.
Shake of the head though from Dan Cox there, clearly a bit frustrated with the way this match has begun for him. That's a tidy return of serve.
That's classy play. That's what the two-handers have a real advantage. They can just step inside the baseline, a little short backswing, use the pace of the serve. Lovely tennis.
Advantage Cox.
Nice response though from Cox. That tee serve, very effective on the juice court.
Game Cox.
That's a big forehand from Dan Cox.
Matusevich
Secure
leads
the
by
hold.
5 games to 2.
Matusevich will serve for the set. He leads by 5 games to 2. So Anton Matusevich serving for this opening set. Well, signs of typical Dan Cox scrambling at the back of the court there, but Matusevich did enough.
Yeah, just did enough. The approach was great. And I think that point really highlights why, when you're ghosting forward as he did, which was a good move to come forward, but then it's much better to go short with the volley. Cox nearly scrambled that point. This match is changing.
15.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel the points aren't so easy for Matusevich to win right now. More unforced errors coming from his racket, and equally Cox getting into the rallies more.
I think it's wide too. $30-15.
Players collecting their own balls. No ball kids, no line judges due to the pandemic. Calling their own lines too. Maybe just got a little tight on that backhand. Did all the hard work.
Always interesting though when a player is winning comfortably. What's the body language like when they do miss a point? Or, I mean, it was the right shot to go for.
40-30.
Good rhythm today. Hasn't missed too many.
Set point for Matusevich.
Game and first set,
He
Matusevich
gets it done on the first time of asking.
by 6 games to 2.
It's been a pretty straightforward set for Anton Matusevich. He takes it by 6 games to 2. Anton, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. We're just in a break right now, but when we come back, we'll have a quick chat with you.
Perfect.
Great. So Anton Matusevich has taken the opening set by 6 games to 2 against Dan Cox. We can go courtside. Anton, that was a pretty quick first set. What was your assessment of it?
Yeah, in all fairness, I didn't think, well, Dan played that well in the first set there. You know, I'll probably be expecting something better from him in the second. I mean, he was just missing. I just put the ball on the court. There was nothing really special about that set. I think we're just both tired from a pretty long week, you know. So, yeah, not much to say there. I mean, yeah.
Anton, it's Barry here. With what you were saying about the way you thought the first set went, did you adjust your tactics because you knew he was missing a lot?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he was missing off the second balls. So that was not, I mean, yeah, just make a return and just play the point, you know. Don't need to do anything special. Yeah, honestly, yeah, pretty quick first set, 6-2. So there's not much to say about that. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, Anton. We'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, sorry for the response. Pretty boring response. My bad.
That's okay.
Right, thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, it's so fascinating to chat to them and get the insight. I love how you said it was boring.
To be honest, for his side, it was a boring set. And the guys make great careers by just putting the ball in court, recognising that's all he needed to do. The interesting part will be, given his summary of the first set, if Dan does start to play better and does start
Second
to maybe
set,
show
Cox
a little bit
to
more
serve.
energy, will there be a difference in terms of the way the match is going to go? Well,
Right.
doesn't need to, right? The first point.
I just find
Love
it
50.
interesting that he said, I expect the second set to be very different. He is approaching this set mentally that it's going to be a lot tougher.
Well, you have to, because if you think a set of 10, the next set of 10 is going to be like the last, then you're halfway to being in trouble.
I was about to say it'd be quite nice to have chatted to Dan
15-0.
Cox at the
Yeah.
end of that first set as well to get his take on it, but equally, I don't know if it would have been so positive.
No, but everyone plays bad sets of tennis, but it's how you move forward. And really for Dan, it's just lift the energy. You know, even you feel you've got to force it.
That is much better play from Dan Cox. Still a shake of the head
30-15.
at the end of that point, but
Yeah, which is slightly worrying because that was kind of a little bit the mindset yesterday. Why is it happening? Well, you have to. There has to be an acceptance sometimes.
40-15.
I think at the moment Dan Cox really needs to draw on his experience. Been around for a very long time, 30 years old, 14 ITF singles titles. Beating the likes of Dan Evans and David Goffin on their way to winning those titles. He's been in these sorts of situations before.
Game, Cox.
And he did the important thing there. He's got himself on the board as one opening service game. Stops the momentum.
First game.
Absolutely.
Second set.
And the way you've got to view it is it's 1-love. The match has started. He's winning.
And especially in this format where it goes to a championship tiebreak for a third set,
Yep.
it doesn't seem like such an uphill battle.
It's one set of tennis.
You've got to play it either way.
Yep. And kidology is just really important.
It's going to be interesting to see what Anton Matusevich can come up with here. He's had a pretty successful serving performance so far. Of course, this is playoff for third place in the UK Pro League.
Love.
And starting this game off with a thunderous ace down the tee. That's big hitting from Cox. A great footwork around that forehand.
Yeah, it's so much better already. And these are little things that you're looking for. Is his mind being proactive? Yes, it was to hit the forehand.
30-15.
Just doesn't quite seem himself today, though.
No.
Matusevich said at the end of the set, you know, both physically feeling it. This is the seventh straight day of competition for both of these guys.
Yeah,
But they're both physically fit.
exactly. I'm all for being honest, but I'm not so sure he should have let that cat out of the bag.
What a return of serve. Ghosting into the net.
30.
Here's an opportunity.
Yeah, and this is the first big test, and when you haven't been tested at all, really, I know he saved the break point in the first set, but he was in the lead at that stage. There we go.
Game, Cox.
There we go indeed. Break of serve for Dan Cox. And
Cox
he
leads by 2 games to
2-love in this second set. How quickly a tennis match can change.
And we hinted it was possible.
Love.
Big hitting from Matusevich.
15-all.
That is exactly the type of tennis he's capable of.
Oh, that stayed hit. Both forehands stayed hit.
15-30.
Mentally, really good response. He would have been, you would expect, pretty furious to lose his serve. But a couple of positive points.
A loose forehand from Dan Cox
15-14.
after working so hard to get his nose out in front in this match is offering up now a couple of breakback point opportunities.
You can't believe it, can you?
30-40.
Anton, that point, that break of serve was on his racket. It's going to be a tough one to forget. He still has another break point.
That's clever play. That's clever in terms of a real change up there. What a smart volley. And back behind Matusevich. Element of surprise.
Don't know about you, Barry, but I'm still thinking about that miss smash.
Yeah. So is he.
Advantage Cox.
He absolutely is. What a chance he let go there. Now, Cox with a chance for a 3-love lead. But a good get
Very close.
from Matusevich. It's a pretty good stretch at the net here.
Cover the line, which he did well.
You sure? Advantage Matusevich.
So the umpire just checking if
He says certain. I don't have the best. What's that? It's very close.
So Matusevich calling it wide. Cox questioning the call. Here it is once again. It was a great lob from Matusevich here.
Look wide.
It did look wide indeed. Close though. Another break point chance for Matusevich here. Snuffed out very quickly from Dan Cox.
Yes.
Lovely 1-2 punch.
He's hit a couple of big forehands.
Is that frustration?
Yeah, it's good. There's nothing wrong with controlled anger.
Advantage Matusevich.
That's going to be a tough one to take.
Oh, they've handed each other an early Christmas present.
Now a third breakpoint opportunity in this game for Matusevich.
Hughes.
Longest game of the match so far by quite a long
How
way.
many have you got at the moment? Just one. There's one there as well.
It's certainly going to be a pivotal one, the outcome of this.
Well, the match at the beginning of the second set is how I thought it would be at the start. Even contest. Well, that looked way out. Did you think?
I thought so too.
Advantage Matusevich.
Of course, the players calling their own lines, and sometimes it's hard to focus on your shot and the ball at the same time.
That is the hardest one to call, though, when you've just finished your serve and it's straight down at your feet.
Game.
Oh,
Matusevich.
well, he saved 3 break
New
points,
ball
but
to
couldn't save a 4th. And Matusevich breaks back. We are back on serve. Matusevich trailing 1-2. Third, fourth playoff here on the UK Pro League between Anton Matusevich and Dan Cox. So Matusevich, who got off to a perfect start, winning the opening set 6-2. Dan Cox breaking immediately in the second, led 2-love. Could have been 3-love.
Time.
It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy match so far, Barry.
Yeah, a couple of gifts in that last game. Cox will be, I think, pretty furious with himself for missing a couple of the volleys that he did to lose serve.
Love 15.
Well, the forehand's working right now. He's been swinging. And some of them have been coming off insanely well. But immediately, Matusevich under pressure in this
30.
service game.
Yeah, and the worry really for Matusevich now is that
Love
Cox is
40.
dictating the points. Less unforced errors. Now it's really the time for Matusevich to has to use his power more in a positive way, aggressive way.
(15-40).
Certainly using his power a little bit too much there. Still a couple of breakpoint chances.
Wide.
He's not a happy chappy right now,
30,
Dan
40.
Cox. And that really was an opportunity. Still has one more chance though.
Use.
Whoa.
Did so well to get himself in front in this game after being broken. Led 40-love and then to play a couple of sloppy points. Disappointing for Dan Cox.
Advantage Matusevich.
Just wonder if he's really looking to hit the ball. I think probably harder than he would normally, and maybe physically he doesn't feel that he can necessarily invest in longer rallies.
Game.
And he pushes it long.
Matusevich.
After having 3 break points in that game, Matusevich
2
holds
games.
serve and has pegged his back way to 2-all. And now you just get the sense that this next game is extremely important on the Cox serve.
Yeah. Mentally now for Matusevich, she just try and put the ball on the island and just no frills.
15-love.
Do you think maybe a bit of a hangover effect for Dan Cox after that semi-final yesterday?
Yeah, possibly, which I didn't expect.
It was a tight battle.
But I think he's done, he's done well in this second set. Played better towards the end of the first.
Net. Second serve.
Got a 2-love lead.
You can
15.
hear Matusevich getting himself going. Dan Cox at the moment, I'm sure, just wants the ground to swallow him up. Lovely touch from Matusevich.
That was brilliant. Classy
15,
tennis.
30.
Just letting the ball come onto his racket.
He is a really talented young guy. Fun player to watch as well. And that's his bread and
14.
butter. The big forehand can cause so much damage. It certainly did there. Now, a couple of break points once again.
Game.
A good hustle from
Matusevich.
Matusevich, but it's the Cox forehand in the net that gives
Matusevich
Matusevich
leads
the
by
break.
3
He
games
leads
to 2.
by a set and 3-2. Third, fourth place playoff currently in action on court 1. Coming up after this, we have the women's final. Beth Gray face-off against Emily Appleton. Following that, rounding off the day's play, Josh Paris and Billy Harris in the men's. But right now, Dan Cox is battling away.
Love 15.
Well, we've seen enough of this match. That's how he's going to continue to play. Come what may. And if he makes it, it looks spectacular. And he will miss a few, though, as he has done.
Well, Cox just staying patient in that rally. Matusevich was dictating
Love
play.
30.
Just had a feeling that the error was coming from the Matusevich racket.
Fifteen 30.
Matusevich doing enough there to get himself back into this game. There's been numerous breaks of serve in this second set. Both players not making it easy for themselves right now.
Fifteen 40.
Deep breath there, Barry.
Well, it's such an up and down second set.
Yeah, we've
I think
had
really, sorry, Jenny, I think really what either player, if they just stick to the same game plan, I think they take the set one way or the other.
big serving, though,
40.
from Matusevich to save a break point there. We've already had 3 breaks of serve in this second set. And ironically, it's not down to the serving performance.
No.
Game Cox.
But on that occasion, it was. And Cox breaks back.
3 games all.
Level things at 3-all with a bit of stretching at the back of the court.
I think it maybe tells us a lot.
A bit of fatigue is
Yeah.
set in. It's the 7th match this week. 1 match a day for both players. And Dan Cox lost his first match of the week yesterday in that semi-final against Billy Harris. He topped his group, winning all 5 matches. And Matusevich, in fact, topped his group too. Did have a loss in there, though, to Jack Findle-Hawkins on day 1.
Where do you think this is going this second set? I had to do it to you before you asked me.
See, Marcus put me on the spot before the women's 3rd, 4th playoff. To be fair, I did get it right. And this one. Knowing Dan Cox, knowing how he plays since I was about 10 years old, I'm going to say Cox has got the second set.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me as well.
But if you're Matusevich, what have you got to do
30,
here?
15.
Because you know you're playing
I think
a
be
really
disciplined.
experienced
Yeah.
opponent.
Yeah, I think be disciplined and just say, right, you know, he's tired, but you don't show your opponent you're tired. Just, yeah. I mean, it's
Energy.
Yeah. Just say, right, I'm actually prepared to go for a 20, 30 shot rally. Are you?
$40-15.
Do you think no matter what the outcome is of this match, it's one that certainly Matusevich at 19 years old should watch back to
Yeah.
learn from in terms of what he said to us after the first set, in terms of showing his opponent how he's feeling?
I think so. Yeah, I think that'd be certainly advisable. Win or lose this match.
Because he's beaten a couple of guys inside the top 300. He had a great
40,
run in
30.
Hamburg, October last year. Got to the semi-finals of a $25,000 event, which was one of his career highlights. He's got some silky hands too.
Game, Cox.
Well, what a topsy-turvy match this is turning out to be. Dan Cox holds serve.
Cox leads by 4
He's
games
back
to
out in
3.
front, leads 4-3. Welcome back to the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre here in Loughborough. We have a battle on our hands between Dan Cox and Anton Matusevich, playing for third place.
Net, first serve.
Dan
15.
Cox has been working so hard in the second set to find some form after really not being able to find much in the opening set, but it's just chucking in too many unforced errors.
Love.
Did he make that?
Yeah, he did.
Let's watch this again. That was an absolute stunner of a forehand.
A little change up because he's been preferring the one the other way.
40 love. $40-15.
It's a good comeback game.
Game, Matusevich.
That's two returns in this game that Dan Cox
4
has
games all.
netted. And Matusevich holds. An important hold for the 19-year-old to level things at 4-all in the second set. Now, what is coming next, Barry?
Oh, please don't
break
ask
or
me that.
hold? I don't think these guys know either.
Yeah, these guys don't know, so there's no chance we're going to know.
We'll just sit and analyze it.
That's simply stunning.
Love 15.
It's shots like that, when he makes it look so easy, you realise the talent that he has.
Oh, what a way to win that rally. Longest rally of the match.
Love 30.
So impressed with the patience of Matusevich there.
Yeah, best point of the match. You'll see a lot of those types of points at the top end of the game. Men's and women's times just rally down the middle, see which one is prepared to take for the opening.
What a chance here
Love
for
40.
Anton Matusevich. 3 break points to serve for this match. There it is.
Matusevich.
Matusevich gets the break. And he is just 1 game away
Matusevich
from
leads
coming
by
3rd
5 games to
in the
4.
UK Pro League.
I actually think that's his best game of the whole match from Matusevich.
It was really mature,
Yeah.
really sensible.
You know, because there's always a fine balance between playing aggressive but reckless, aggressive but patient.
And what's that man thinking?
Probably not what Matusevich is thinking.
Yeah, Matusevich just 1 game away
Time.
from what would be a 2nd victory in his career against Dan Cox. They met once before in the Pro Series last year. Went down to the wire, to the championship tiebreak. Dan Cox has got a bit of work to do if he's to get it to a championship tiebreak once again. Saw that reaction as he got up from the bench. It's not been his day at the office so far.
Love.
That's just lovely. Really simple, clean hitting.
Fifteen all.
picture tells 1,000 words.
Not over yet.
15-30.
He's going to make him work for it, that's for sure. Let's not forget it's only 5-4 in games as well. All of a sudden,
15-40.
Matusevich has gone a bit passive compared to the previous game. And to be fair, Dan Cox has stepped up the aggression levels in the last couple of points. And here are 2 break-back points for the 30-year-old.
$30-40.
Missed by a whisker.
Yeah. Not quite.
Still another opportunity, though, for Dan Cox to break back and level things in this second set. Big serving from Matusevich, though.
Use.
Crucial time to get the first serve.
And that's the bedrock of his game. Big serve, big forehand.
Advantage Matusevich.
He's certainly shown maturity. And he's felt pressure. And here is match point for Anton Matusevich.
Game, center match, Matusevich.
And there it is.
By
Anton
2 sets to love.
Matusevich
6-2, 6-4.
gets a final win of the week. He defeats Dan Cox in straight sets
Cheers.
to end his week of UK Pro League in 3rd place. 6-2, 6-4 for the 19-year-old. Pretty solid performance, and not the usual Dan Cox who showed up today, but credit to Matusevich. It was some good play out there from him today, Barry.
Well, the first set was just putting the ball in court. Cox was struggling for form, a lot of unforced errors. And got a little scrappy midway through that second set, but the way that he ended I thought was brilliant from Matusevich. 2 really good games, especially the game at 4-all. But for Cox, the week started brilliantly. He was undefeated, not so necessarily the weekend. It will be a bit of a disappointment for him. The numbers really, what I think sticks out there is just no frills really from Matusevich. Was more dominant on first serve, and crucially the second serve as well, which showed that he was a better of the 2 from the baseline.
Yeah, Cox did lead by a break of serve in the second set, had the 2-love lead, but was unable to gather the momentum fully and get a hold of this match, really. Anton Matusevich just too strong, and a nice way to end the week for him in 3rd place. It was a solid performance overall, just 19 years of age. The top-ranked player in the men's side of things, Anton Matusevich. Didn't start off the week well. He was defeated by Jack Findo Hawkins, but turned it around in his group with 4 straight victories. It was a tough match yesterday against Billy Harris in the semi-final. Went down in the championship tiebreak by 10 points to 4. Today, however, he has turned it around, defeated Dan Cox in straight sets. Let's hear from the victor, Anton Matusevich. He is with Marcus Buckland.
Anton, many congratulations. Tell us about that match from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Dan played that well again, but you know, I'm happy to get through it. Second set was a bit tighter than the first. You know, he broke me. It was 2-love up. I did well to just hold my serve after the changeover, and you know, happy just to get through. I mean, it's been a pretty good week. I haven't played a tournament in 2 months, so I'm just, you know, happy with the result. Third place, good amount of matches. It's a good mental challenge as well. You know, like reflecting on Billy yesterday, I think that was a good match. I think he played very well. So today I was just like, right, hopefully let's just get through it again. So yeah.
Yeah, of course you had to play 7 matches in 7 days. Do you think there was an element of fatigue inevitably from both of you out there?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if not, like, I think it's mental as well. Like Dan's he's pretty fit as well. So you know, he mopped up his group comfortably. You know, he beat Billy in there as well, and you know, but you know, he's got to play another 2 matches. So that's tough as well. And you take someone like Josh Paris or even Billy. I mean, they're quite strong guys. You know, they serve and volley. They're like quite efficient around the core as well. So yeah, definitely element of fatigue for both of us here.
And from your perspective, you came in as the highest ranked player. A lot of people were trying to put a little bit of extra pressure on you as a result of that. So how pleased are you with the way you've performed in general?
No, I'm very pleased. These all players here can play, especially indoors. You know, like my first match with Jack Findale Hawkins, you know, he keeps the ball low, and on these surfaces when it's cold, it's very tough for me to kind of generate pace on the ball. You know, like maybe a more lively surface is slightly better. But you know, third place, 5 out of 7 match wins. I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah.
And are you looking forward to making a real impact over the next few weeks of this league?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to come back the week after. I'll be feeling at home out here later. So that I'm looking forward to it because I'm getting more used to the surface, the conditions. So yeah, exactly.
And I know you're a bit of a live wire. So as you come down tonight, will you play your piano? Would you play some chess, some computer programming, some advanced maths? What's on the agenda?
Today I have got a coursework economics assignment due at midnight. So when I get back, I'm going to have to crack on with it. Luckily, I have a friend who knows the questions and the answers, so I'll probably just copy of him.
Wow. So not much time just to relax and reflect on what you've done this week.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Not much time to relax and reflect on what you've done on court this week.
I mean, I'll find some time to just chill and watch some YouTube. So yeah, we'll get it through.
Well, listen, well done, and we look forward to seeing you back here for week 2 in just a few days' time.
Are you in next week as well? The week after?
I hope to be here for some of that. Yeah.
Sweet.
Wait to hear what the bosses have to say.
Sweet.
Thank you very much, Anton.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
So great success for Anton. Of course, there will be full coverage throughout the week, whether or not I'm here or Gigi is here. She might not be because her prediction was wrong. Explain yourself.
I did feel a little bit pressured. I have to say the pressure had built up that I knew that was coming. And also I was standing right next to Dan Cox at the time. But as you saw, look, they were both quite tired. But there's 11 years between the two. And Anton Matusevich, he really showed up today. And I did like his honesty when he said he's got the economics paper, but he's got a friend who knows the answers. And he's just going to copy the answers.
Yeah, well, I was going to throw him an equation question, but obviously he's got a lot of work to do tonight. So you're multi-talented. Pythagoras' theory, could you tell us that?
We're going to start refusing to come out here and speak to you. But what you forget is that I've been homeschooling for about a year now. So this one I've got. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
I knew you'd get it right.
See? That's the benefits of homeschooling.
I'm never going to try and trick you again. He got it right today. Obviously a disappointing end to what had been a fantastic week for Dan Cox, and he's so competitive. So inevitably he's going to be bitterly disappointed tonight, isn't he?
But he's got to take away the positives because he was the older of the two. This is the man that gave up tennis in 2017, got married, founded a tennis academy. He only came back last year. He was up against a guy who's the highest ranked here, who was 19 years of age. He was unbeaten through the week, Dan Cox, until it got to the semi-final stage. There is so much. I know he will beat himself up about it, but there is so much for Dan Cox to take away. And remember, this is the first week of 8 in the round robin stage, still with an eye on the finals in November. Yeah, there's an awful lot for everybody to play for. There is an awful lot still to come today. We'll take a short break. When we return, it will be the women's singles final.